Hello everyone, Ryan here with Product Impressions, and today we are taking a look at a new pair of Sony headphones. These are also wireless, noise canceling. These are the XB900N, which I assume this is wireless headphones, extra bass 900 series, and whatever N happens to stand for, probably noise canceling. I'm guessing that's how they structure things. Overall, just from looking at the box, they look extremely similar to the headphones that I've been wearing for several years now, which are the Sony MDR1000X, if you can see that there. Alrighty, based on looking at the physical function of these, or the physical form of these, and all of the functions and images that are on this box, it looks like it is an incredibly similar headphone. That's not to say that it is actually going to work the same. I have used some of their headphones from the 700 series in the past and was really disappointed with the way that noise canceling worked on those. I had someone turn on water nearby and I felt like my head was in the sink. It was not canceling that noise at all. In fact, I think it just kind of amplified it. So yeah, it looks like we've got all of the normal pictures here. They can fold. It has the standard touch controls from Sony headphones. Yeah, so let's take a look and see how these work. Alright, let's take a look at this Sony Extra Bass 900N headphones. One thing that I do feel a need to mention before we begin opening this box is that if you are buying something like this for yourself or as a gift, take a close look at this number here, because basically every box that they have had for their headphones for the last at least 3 years looks virtually identical. So make sure that you are actually checking the number on here to see exactly which ones you are getting. Alright, let's pop these open. Okay, we have, and on the ground it goes. We have a kind of a black cardboard box. You can see on the edge there, it is just cardboard. It felt exactly like I thought it would. Let's pop that open. Oh, and there we go. Headphones ready to pop right out. Let's see, we have easy setup, download an app. Not a big fan of requiring an app for headphones, but sure. We'll see if it actually adds any useful functionality. Power on the headphones and connect through the app. Alright, simple enough. Let's take a look at the headphones themselves. Just on first picking these up, I can tell that these feel much cheaper than any of them from the 1000 series. So this is a very cheap feeling plastic. The other ones, it's much smoother, more premium feeling. Pretty much everything about the 900s feel a bit cheaper. Even the material at the top of the headband, this, I don't know if it's because I've been using them for a few years, but it feels much softer, much nicer. This one here, it has a little bit more of a grippiness to it, and doesn't really feel as nice. It feels like it's really some thin padding in there. Or I should say some low density padding. Overall, I'm generally not impressed with how these feel, or really look for that matter. I mean, they look fine if you're just wearing them around. It's not like anybody's going to say, hey, oh my god, those headphones look awful. But in comparison to the 1000 series, these are definitely a step down. Looks like for charging we have USB-C, so that's definitely updated to go along with your more modern phones. You can plug in a wired connection, it looks like, and we've got a little vent there for the microphones. I'm not sure if that's going to be for the noise canceling ones or for voice when you are actually talking. Let's see, we've got our power button, something called custom. I guess we're going to figure out what that does. And that is pretty much it. That's not entirely unexpected. The way that Sony does their headphones is this is actually a touch pad. So if you swipe forward, you go forward, swipe up, volume up, and same with the reverse. So swiping down, slide backwards, skip backwards, and if you double tap on it, it will play or pause. That's one thing that I have found has actually not worked as well on the 1000 series recently. I'm not sure if it's because mine are 3 years old and don't require an app to connect, but the play pause functionality has been rather sketchy. It will depend on what app I'm using to play something, or even what I am playing in the app, if I have any other apps open. I haven't exactly narrowed down what is causing the problem with the old ones that I've been using, but something to consider, something else to test with these. So, alright, let's take a look at what else we have in the box. Simple piece of plastic to hold it in there. Looks like you've got the wires. You've got a headphone wire if you need that, standard 3.5mm to 3.5mm, and a pretty short little USB-C that you can use for charging, and the usual instructions and limited warranty card. And it looks like it just comes with a simple travel pouch with a pull string on there. The previous ones actually came with a hard-sided case, so once again, this is definitely a step down. I'm going to have to double check what the pricing is on this. Of course, it's entirely up to you if you think that the hard-shelled case is worth any amount of money, or if the touch of the headphones themselves are actually something that's going to put you off. This is definitely a rougher, cheaper feeling plastic, but we'll use it for a little while and see what I think as some time goes by. Alright, so what's the difference in using the 900 series headphones versus the 1000s versus the 700s? Sony seems to be introducing a lot of different headphones recently. I'm still a fan of the 1000 series, but let's kind of walk through step by step. I know I already gave my initial impressions about how this plastic doesn't feel as nice. It is a rougher plastic. It is a less premium feel and appearance. Across the top, it is kind of a thin piece of probably pleather, but I don't know, the 1000s have a metal band across the top, which just looks and feels more premium, and that's the general feeling throughout the entire time that you're using them. Let's see, with the 900s here, we've got our power button and this button that says custom. Now when you're actually using this button, you can set it, initially it starts off as changing how the noise canceling works. You can press it and get active noise canceling, which is kind of the standard. You can press it again and it just filters for voices. You can press it again and it doesn't filter at all. It just kind of changes what kind of noise canceling you're using. Through the app that goes on your phone, you can set that to trigger different voice assistants if you want. I have never used Google's voice assistant or Amazon Alexa or anything like that, but that is an option that you can set up if you would like. Otherwise, the actual use of these is exactly the same as their others. Swipe controls, forward and back, move forward and back, up and down, change volume up and down. Double tap is play and pause. Let's see, what other differences were there? Most of the other differences are actually in the app. Unfortunately, I use my phone camera to film these, so I can't actually show you on my phone, but the app that comes with these, you can change how the noise canceling works. You can change an equalizer. You've got a lot of different options in there. By default, it will automatically change the settings of noise canceling based on if you are sitting, walking around. I found that the noise canceling always worked better when it was on the, quote unquote sitting setting. I don't know what that changes as far as how it functions, but as far as I could tell, it blocked more sound that way. Another downside of that is every time that you would get up and move, within about 10 seconds, you would start hearing this chirping, and that is when the app was changing how the noise canceling functionality would work, you would get this chirping. So I spend a fair amount of my time working at my desk here, and I would get up to go to the kitchen, go to the bathroom, whatever the case may be, and I get a couple of chirps. I sit back down, and about 30 seconds to a minute later, I get a couple of chirps. This is really annoying after a while, so I found it better to just completely disable that functionality. I don't think that it adds anything Voice assistant stuff, I already said, I don't feel like that really adds anything. There's a built-in equalizer, which is good with these because as far as the sound quality is concerned, I feel like generally it is very similar to the 1000 series, but oddly enough, I feel like that is where these are worse than any of the other offerings from Sony right now. 700s had very good not noise the noise canceling was awful on the 700s. The sound quality was very good on the 700s. The sound quality is very good on the 1000s as well. On the 900s, I feel like they focused a little too much on that extra bass indication. It felt like things were kind of artificially pumped on the bass end. This made some music not sound as good. I mean, it works just fine for harder rock, hip-hop, things with synthesized bass. It did not work as well for anything acoustic or podcasts, depending on how those were recorded. A fair number of those. The host tends to have a little bit more of a bass end in the recording, and that gets way overemphasized with these to the point that you really need to make some adjustments or it becomes difficult to listen to after a while. If your focus is more on, rock music, hip-hop, electronic, things like that, these are going to work just fine. If you want something better as far as an overall headphone and listening experience, go with the 1000 series. The price difference on these have just come out. The price right now is $250. The 1000 series is $350, but usually you can find these on sale. I would highly recommend finding these on sale. I don't see any reason why, if you're looking at headphones that are $250 versus $300 or something like that, unless you can find an even better deal on these, $50 is not enough of a differentiation on these at these price points for me to really seriously consider the 900s. I would go with the 1000s every time. If you have any other questions on how these work or how they sound, let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments on the video, let me know. Hopefully this has been helpful, useful for you. If so, like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.